Hey, sports card fans, it's John, Wade Boggs fan. Hope you're all doing well. Today, I have two topics that I want to talk about, and they are questions that have been raised by Jayson, MrFisherbike. He wants to know two things. One, why do we collect what we collect? And two, what type of sports card hobby related content do we enjoy watching on YouTube? Now, I'm going to answer the second question first, because for the first question, I want to turn the camera around and show off some cards as part of my answer. So what type of content do I enjoy watching on YouTube? Well, I'm subscribed to a lot of channels. I like to support them whenever I can, but there is some content that is more interesting to me than others. I can't watch all the videos that are posted out there. For some channels, in terms of their type of content, if there's something that catches my eye, I'll go ahead and watch that video. But there are other channels that I tend to watch more of their content than others. So the types of videos that I enjoy watching the most focus around vintage baseball cards. Now, I do enjoy the videos where people are showing off their latest pickups or showing certain cards from their collection, because it always inspires me to see certain cards that they've recently acquired or want to show off from their collection, because there are so many cards out there, you just either forget or lose focus on all the really cool vintage cards that are out there. And every once in a while I'll see someone show off a card and I'll go, oh yeah, that's right, I remember, that's a really cool card. And I'll try to put it a little bit in the front of my mind instead of the back of my mind to see maybe that's a card that I can pick up and add to my collection. In addition to those types of videos, I also enjoy watching videos that are informative and educational when it comes to vintage baseball cards. Now, I've always had some sort of interest in vintage baseball cards, but I really haven't seriously started collecting vintage baseball cards other than the last 3 years. So there's a lot that's out there that I still need to learn, get educated on, whether it be a particular set, a player, the history of the player, teams, and so on, especially pre-war. That is one area of vintage that I have very few cards in my collection and I don't know a whole lot about. So if I see a video that talks about or shows off cards that are pre-war, that usually grabs my attention. But in addition to those types of vintage videos, I always like the collaboration videos where it's whether it's one person having a guest on talking about a particular topic within the vintage hobby, again, whether it be a particular set, card, background of a player, live streams, even though I don't always get to get in and watch it live, I'll watch the recording, especially ones where there's 3 or 4 people on there talking about various topics, again, related to vintage baseball cards. Those are the types of videos that I really enjoy. All right, so with that, I'm going to turn the camera around and talk about why I collect what I collect. And of course, there's two main areas in my collection focus right now, which is Wade Boggs and vintage baseball cards. So I'm going to talk briefly about each one, show off a few examples, and yeah, so let's go check out some cards. Okay, before I start showing off cards and explaining why I collect what I collect, I guess I should mention that if you enjoy watching my content that I put out on YouTube and are not subscribed to my channel, would love for you to hit that subscribe button. All right, I want to talk about my Wade Boggs collection. I'm not going to go into the full detail. I've talked about it before on some of my videos, but let's jump to the late 1990s. I decided to become a player collector. So I needed to decide who I wanted to focus on. And I've always been a fan of the Red Sox. My mom is originally from Massachusetts. She grew up a Red Sox fan, so did her parents. We'd go up to visit for vacation. The Red Sox would be on TV. I went to Fenway Park several times. And so the Red Sox have always been a part of my life. And so I think that somewhat led to the decision of Wade Boggs. Plus, I know Wade Boggs in the late 90s, he was wrapping up his career with the Tampa Bay Devil Rays, but he was getting closer to reaching 3,000 hits for his career. And I knew even if he didn't reach it, he was pretty much a lock for the Hall of Fame. So he had that going for him. And I was always more impressed with someone who could hit for high average, get on base at a high rate, than someone who was just maybe big and strong and could hit mammoth home runs. So all that combined, plus the fact that I already had a small number of Wade Boggs cards to start off with, that's what led me down this 25 plus year path, I guess, of collecting Wade Boggs cards. Now, there are certain Wade Boggs cards I like more than others. Now, my overall goal is to try to get as many different Wade Boggs cards as I can. But obviously, in my heart, Wade Boggs will always be a Red Sox. So whenever I come across a card of him in a Red Sox uniform, I'm more interested in that card. And Topps typically has maybe about 8 or 10 photos of Boggs that, especially for modern cards, that they tend to rehash year over year. And so there are a couple images of Wade Boggs that I also like as well. So these are some of the cards that may not be the most valuable in my collection, but ones that I just enjoy either because of the image, the picture. You'll see. So here's the first one that I just love. The overall design, it's his 1984 Topps card. And just, I love the overall design of it. This is, I'd probably have to say, when it comes down to it, my favorite Wade Boggs card. I own over 1,000 copies. Now, this is a special one here, if you can see the embossed. This is an all-time fan favorites. Vintage embossed, but it's basically a buyback of his 84 Topps card. So just love the overall design of this 84 Topps card. So another example of an image of Wade Boggs that I like. Here's a 2020 Allen and Ginter relic card. And you can see the image they use there of Wade. And this is also on a, I want to say this is a 2020 Topps archive. So you can see they use that same image there. I always like that image of Boggs. Here are a couple other examples from 2022 Topps. They use this fielding image a lot. Really like there with his little sunglasses flipped up and stuff. And there's one of his sort of classic follows through swings. And here's another one. I can just imagine him, of course, these are taken in Fenway Park, their home uniforms, and just with his follow through there and where his eyes are, I can just imagine him hitting a ball off the green monster. So just, again, love these types of, when Topps uses these types of photographs in their card. And probably my all-time fan favorite, or not fan favorite, favorite image is, and I want to say this is from I think it's 2015 or 2016 Topps archives. That is probably my favorite image of Wade Boggs. Just bat on the shoulder, just to, I don't know, just that portrait shot. I just love that. And I love it so much that for the Topps archives, the signature edition, I think this one came out in I don't know what the year is here. It's hard to read with the foil. 2016. This is buyback. This is out of 3. So I got the one with the on-card autograph. And I'm going to be getting to autographs here in a moment. The other type of Boggs cards that I like are multiplayer cards where they're paired up with some of the other Red Sox all-time greats. Here's a fairly new one. This is from 2021, Topps Triple Threads. You have a card of quite arguably the 3 greatest Red Sox players of all time. Got Ted Williams, Paul Yastrzemski, and Wade Boggs all on one card. These are some of my favorite cards in my Wade Boggs collection. Again, paired with either Yastrzemski, Williams. I have some with Carlton Fisk, and some other all-time Red Sox greats. But I have a couple cards like this with Williams, Yastrzemski, and Boggs, and some of my favorite. Now, as for autographs, I would much rather, or I enjoy a lot more cards that are signed by Boggs on card and not sticker autograph. And the reason being is I have a lot of Wade Boggs autographs, and with his signature looks so much nicer when he has a lot more room to write his signature. So here's an example here, and here's one that I also like when they have his nickname on it. So this is Topps Definitive. As you can see, he has a really big, bold autograph signature, and you know, I have a few of these where he puts Chicken Man, his nickname, on it. So these are some of my favorite. But if he's constrained sometimes in doing a sticker autograph, he really has to compact his signature there, and so the D and the B and even sometimes the W just get scrunched a little bit, and it doesn't look as nice. I really enjoy the on-card autographs that I have in my collection. Here's another one here, another Chicken Man. You can see nice big bold signature. Here's another one from, I think this is Topps Tribute. Again, on-card autograph. Love the image there of that follow-through. Big bold signature. And I even enjoy, some may not like this, but when they use either silver or gold marker. This is one of my favorites. Museum 2017 Museum Collection. This is the, I guess, the black border. 5 out of 5. I just love this design here. Again, one of his iconic follow-through swing images that Topps uses from time to time. And that on-card autograph there, just the whole design of this just is gorgeous. All right, so that's really how I've started collecting Wade Boggs. Some of my favorite cards that I have or like to collect in my collection. So let's move on to my vintage collection. Now, what really draws me to vintage cards is just the artistry, the design, mainly in the 50s and earlier. While I like cards generally from the 60s and 70s and so on, it's the cards from the 50s, the late 40s, and even, you know, tobacco cards that, to me, they're little pieces of art. And so it goes beyond, you know, the player and the history. Is I just enjoy looking at vintage cards. Plus, again, knowing the whole history, you tie the history onto cardboard and so on. It's just vintage cards are very special to me. So I want to show off a couple examples of just what I mean here by the artistry of the card and just how beautiful some of these vintage cards are. So I said I don't own too many pre-war cards, but here are a couple. This T206 Christy Mathewson. This was on my bucket list for some time. Picked this up at, I think, the first National I ever went to. Sweet Caporal back. Again, just love these T206s. And here's one of Mordecai Brown. Again, the old uniforms. The fact that these were taken from photographs and people actually drew these for the tobacco cards from original photographs. Now this is a PSA 1, and the reason being there's a little bit of paper loss on the back there, but when you're looking at the front, that's an amazing looking one. All right, more pieces of art that I enjoy. Here's my 50 Bowman Bob Feller. Just love the image of him. You see the stadium and the crowd in the background. Just beautiful. Here's my 50 Bowman Yogi Berra. Again, just in the, almost looks like maybe a practice field. I don't know exactly. Again, this is some of the history that I don't know about vintage cards. You know, where was this photograph taken? Was it spring training? You know, what was the situation behind this photograph? But just a gorgeous image there of Yogi Berra. And here's a 51 Bowman I have of Warren Spahn, his trademark you know, pitching motion with that high leg kick. Just love these, especially the early 50s Bowman cards. And here's a 52 Bowman I have of Stan Musial. Again, that stadium in the background. Just such bright colors there with his uniform. Here's my 52 Topps Bob Feller. I love vintage cards with yellow backgrounds. There's just something about it. It just, especially, you know, depending on the player, if they have a blue hat or red or blue in their uniform, that yellow just, to me, makes the card pop. So this is, to me, this is just a beautiful card, regardless of the fact that it is of one of the all-time greatest pitchers ever in Bob Feller. All right, some more quick examples here. My 53 Topps Eddie Matthews. Again, just look at that artistry in the card. You got the stadium in the background a little bit. I just love that image of Eddie Matthews. Here's another one with the yellow background. This is not in the best shape, but this was a contest winning from G's Mikey. I was one of the lucky winners of one of his contests and won this 58 Topps Duke Snider. So really love it for that reason. And again, a great example of a yellow background offset with a blue hat here with Duke Snider. Another example, getting out of the 50s, of cards with like stadiums in the background. If I have a sort of a side theme, I guess you could say I enjoy cards that have stadiums in the background. And here's my 61 Topps Yogi Berra, where you see Yankee Stadium in the background there. I don't know, I just love those in the background, because you get to see what some of the Yankee Stadium had been around for quite some time, but in some of these older cards, these vintage cards, you may see stadiums that are no longer around anymore. Moving up to the 70s, I also like some of the action cards of vintage, and here are two from 1974. Just love that action shot of Tom Seaver. You can see again the crowd in the background, but that follow through there of Tom Seaver. And here's another example, the Carlton Fisk. Got to play at the plate. Obviously, you have the 1971 Topps Thurman Munson, which is sort of an iconic card, but I didn't feel like showing that one. I wanted to show these couple other examples here that I don't show off as often. But great action shot there. And then we move to my all-time favorite set, the year that I first started collecting, 1978, and I just have a couple examples here of just why I love this set. Here is the Nolan Ryan. Just love this image. Again, you got the stadium in the background, that Angels uniform, just, I don't know, the green border, the pink Angels, I don't know, just everything to me works with this card. And then you have sort of these, they're not quite action, it's not an action pose. I'm not sure if that was after, and this looks like it's a warm-up jersey, so maybe it was during pregame batting practice or something like that. But there's the Carlton Fisk, and I love that all-star shield that's featured on the 78 Topps set. Two more here. Even though I am a Red Sox fan, I'm finishing off with two Yankees, but these are great examples from 1978. You have Thurman Munson. I just love that shot of him in the catcher's uniform. Usually when you see images of catchers, you know, they may have their catcher's mask off, but they're usually in the crouching position or various things. Here, you know, the play's already taken place or in progress, and you see him, you know, checking the situation out. And then finally, probably my favorite 78 Topps card is it's the Reggie Jackson. I don't know, you got that All-Star shield, the colored borders there, the Yankees, and sort of that gold colored text there, the classic swing of Reggie Jackson. Just love this card. So again, for a variety of reasons, you have the design, the history, the players. That's what draws me into vintage baseball cards. So Jayson, thanks for asking those two questions. I really enjoyed putting this video together. I've already seen some of the response videos, looking forward to seeing some others and getting to know some of the other collectors out there a little bit more as to why they collect, what they collect, and what they enjoy watching on YouTube. So with that, that's all I have for you. So until next time, thanks for watching.